Hey YouTube, it's your girl Ashley Williams. If it's your first time here, hello, hi, welcome. Thank you for coming. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around, you guys. We have made it to 500 subscribers, or as the cool people call it, the 500 subbies. Oh my god! We did it. Like, I knew we were close last video, but then we actually, we made it there. We're here. We're in there. And as this, being, the year that I've actually been consistent and been doing things, well, 2024 is the year that I've been doing things and been being consistent, and I'm at 500 people already. What's up? It's only up from here. Anywho, we're gonna get straight into this video. So I have decided in my brain, we are gonna use the tools and the resources that we have. So remember, last time we made this wonderful corset back here. We still have more of this fabric available, and we would like to make a matching purse. I don't believe I have shown you guys the purse just yet. So what we're going to do today is do some research, because the purse that we are going to use is one from Coach. And it's like a little denim tote, you know, from Coach. They also have a cherry print one. I think they are sold out of that one. But with that said, I didn't like the cherry print one that they had. And honestly, spending freaking, how much was it? I want to say it was like $200, y'all. $200 on that purse? Babes, no. When we have everything at home, well, we ain't got everything. We got majority of everything that we need. We not doing that. So what we're going to do today is we are going to do some sleuthing on Coach's website, see what the dimensions of their bag, of what their bag is, copy said dimensions. Hopefully this is okay. I don't know. I might tweak it a little bit. Coach, I like y'all. My purse, my big girl purse that I wear every day is Coach. I do purchase from y'all. But in this moment today, we're not about to do it unless y'all want to give me something for free. That's always acceptable. So we can compare y'all's to mine. Just let me know. Just let me know. Anyway, we're going to do some sleuthing on the Coach website, see what the dimensions of the bag are. Or quite honestly, I might make them up as I go, because I have made a little tote bag like this in previously. But I just want the bag to hold my phone. And then maybe a few cards. I don't think I'm gonna put a card holder in it, but maybe a few cards, lip gloss, maybe sunglasses. That's it. So it's gonna be very small, very cutesy. I also need to order D-rings for this. I have the purse feet. I have the zipper. I just need to shorten it. And I think I need a long strap, because I think I'm going to do silver like I did on here to match this bag. I don't have the silver purse straps. That kind of pissed me off, because I thought I did. Apparently I don't. So I gotta buy that stuff. Anywho, let's get to freaking sleuthing, okay? Okay, so let me get things set up on my computer, because I'm gonna take y'all with me so I can show y'all, you know, what's popping, what's tea. Yeah. Okay, so on this page, this is the purse that I saw that is similar. It has the cherry print, and then it has the Coach branding on it, Coach New York. It's very small, very cutesy. I think it's 6 by 7, something of that size. It's very, very small. So yeah, it's showing it in relation to objects. We said we only want our phone and our glasses to fit. And maybe that's all. Because I don't even think the camera that I have, well, no, my DJI could fit, because my DJI is fairly small. Let me compare it to my phone real quick. Yeah, my DJI is smaller than my phone when I don't have the little extension on it and the tripod. So it's a cute little purse. They also do have this one in all denim. I think that one's probably sold out because I don't see it anymore. But let's look at what the measurements are. So the length is 7.5. My pen don't run right. 7.75. Let me get another pen, y'all. Today just doesn't want me to be great. What's up with that? Okay, length is 7.75 inches. Height is 6 inches. And the width is 4.25. And I'm pretty sure the width is just how wide the purse is, not how wide the rectangle is. If you're thinking about a 3D object. Handles with a 3-inch drop. That's just meaning, so handle with 3-inch drop just means how long is the handle of the bag. So I'm gonna note that down. I'm probably not gonna copy that, because I do have some purse handles that I intend to use. I'm gonna show y'all those, because, okay, so this is where I'm having confusion, because I think I'm gonna have to buy these purse straps again. But I purchased these straps from, what's it called? From Etsy. Let me show you the one. I'm just mad because the freaking, it's like gunmetal. I'm like, can I get away with gunmetal in this fabric? I have to put them together and see, but it's gunmetal. But look at the, girl. This could be an option maybe. I bought this for something else, but it's so fluffy and so cute and it's so me. And if you know me, you know I love fur. We're just gonna, you know, think about that one for a second. I do have other straps too, like, because in a time in my life, I was like in purse making and all that jazz. So I have a lot of purse making material. This, I don't know how it would go with this. I'm not liking it. I don't think I like it, but we have options when it comes to straps, and we might have to get some more options, but the options is there, girl. I can honestly, can I get away with gunmetal? It's a purse, so maybe. The strap, we're not going to pay attention to that because we have our own strap that we're going to use, which is a chain with a leather strap on the top of it. I may get a new one for that one as well, and then I already have my zipper, so I don't need to look at that. The other thing that I wanted to look at on this purse is the inside pocket. So it has an outside pocket, and then on the inside it has like this big pocket, and then you can see like two smaller outer pockets on it. We probably not doing it because like I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it cute. I feel like I don't need all the extras, and so this is what the size of it looks like. I'm gonna do some measuring out and see what that looks like. But yeah, this is the inspiration so that you guys are aware like where I drew my inspiration from to make this purse. And the only inspiration I'm getting from it is like the shape. Everybody has a freaking tote bag like this. Okay. So now the next thing that we need to do, which I'm really excited about, is to use my Cricut to cut out the sewing pattern. I was sitting here, I was thinking, I was like, dang, like, I know it's just like cutting rectangles out, but I also like want the rectangles to be like, I don't know, I want them to be nice. I want them to kind of be perfect so that I can reuse them if in the instance in the future I want to make other sewing patterns, right? So I got the bright idea, like, girl, you got this tool, you got this resource. Just go to the store, buy some cardstock, and use said cardstock in that Cricut machine so you can have straight, beautiful, wonderful lines and not have to worry about if it's straight or if it's not straight. Like, am I doing this right? Like, we're not worrying about a damn thing. Okay, so let's get set up in a different spot. So, oh, no. Let me do some quick math off camera to get my proper measurements out. I just need to compare on a ruler what I have my phone size as so that I'm sure that my phone can fit in the purse. And of course I need to add seam allowance to these measurements to ensure that once I do have my final purse size, that my purse size is the size that I'm expecting and not like half an inch smaller or an inch smaller due to seam allowance. All right. Okay. I will be back very quickly so that you guys can understand how the measurements are working. So this is, you can't read that, but it says length, height is spelled wrong, so sorry, width, handle drop we don't care about, detachable strap we don't care about, so I didn't write it down. But this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have rectangles, so you'll have 2 of these rectangles for each side, not including the lining if you do want to line your bag. I am going to line my bag, so I'll need 4 of these. I'll need 2 of these, 1 of the outside fabric, 1 of the lining. Oh, actually 3, and 1 of the interfacing. Same for this, I'll need 1 of the interfacing as well, so it'll be 6 total. And then for the side panel, so the part that go on the side of the purse, I'll need 2 of these, 2 of the lining, 2 of the interfacing. So 6 of these, 6 of these, 3 of this, just so that everything's nice, sturdy, well put together. Okay, so now that I've done a little bit of like, you know, fact checking, making sure that everything is how I want it to be when it comes to size, I have decided that I'm going to size the bag up to 8 inches by 4.5 inches. Yeah, just that way I could have a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the width of the bag and then a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the length of the bag, just so I don't have to do any guessing of like, okay, so if it's 7.75, like what is my seam allowance from there? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into our Cricut project maker and we are going to draft out the shape. So I'm just literally going to use a rectangle if I can find one, because that looks like a square. Girl, you need a rectangle. So we're gonna have a few rectangles. And why is, Okay, so we'll do the square, and we'll do, oh girl, can we not drag it like that? So let's do 8 inches across, 8 exactly, by 6 inches. Oh, what? So the controls are a little different than I expected, but we're gonna do 8, and then let's drag it down to 6. We love using technology, you know. 6. Okay, then the other thing that we need to do is make our other triangles, our other rectangles. So we will have another one, another square. Come here, square. And we will do, line that up. We're going to do 4.5. And I love that, like on the Cricut screen, it gives you the measurements, 4.5 by 6. So this is our side panel. Actually, it can't be 6 exactly. We need to go to 6.5 on this as well to account for seam allowance. And I'm accounting for 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So 2/4 makes a half. So back on this one, we need to make it 6.5 to account for seam allowance. We are not, listen, we are not, maybe actually I'll do 7. You want to know why? Because if I do 7, I need a seam allowance on the top and the bottom of that fabric. And if I only do seam allowance on one side, that means because the way I'm thinking about it is I might need to do a double fold for the seam allowance since it is denim, and I don't want to use my serger, at least I don't think, but I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room now. And if I need to make a little more amendments later, it's easier to cut from something that's exactly straight than to cut from something that's not. So with that in mind, if I would like my finish like purse to be 7.75, that's a 1/2 inch on each side. So it's going to be 7 inches. So let's go to 8.5 on the width of this one. So let's do that. 8.5. 8.5. Okay, and then on this one, we'll take it down. This was by 7 inches. We'll do this one by 7 inches as well, so that we have seam allowance on the top and the bottom. I think one part I did forget is the zipper panels. So you need panels to put on the purse that equal the width of the purse so that you can insert your zipper and it'll zip up nice and seamlessly. So for the zipper panel, since the width of this is 4.5, if you divide that by 2, you get 2.25. So you'll need 2 rectangles with a 2.25 width and a 7-inch length. Or how long did I make this one? Let me look at this one. Yeah, 7 inch. Okay, so let's do that one next. We'll drop another one on here. And so 2.25 plus 1/2 inch is 3 inches. So 3 inches in width. Almost there. Girl. Oh my God. Can I just type this in somewhere? Okay. And then we'll go across to 7 or whatever this one was. What'd I make this one? 8.5. Okay, this one's about to be 8.5. Oops. 8.5. So 8.5 by 8.5. This is so much harder to do on camera. Like, I'm shy, you guys. And one thing I don't like about a Mac is like it doesn't have a delete button. Like that's the one thing that I'm like, okay, y'all snapped with this one when it comes to desktop or like HP computers. Okay, and then we need one more rectangle on here of the base of the purse. So we need this one to be 4.25 in the width, and then a length of 7.75. No, we did 8 of 8. Whoa, that doesn't look, why is it 8 by 8? Didn't nobody say that? Why is it? Why is it doing? Oh, because it's a square. Listen, Cricut, don't nobody want the square to be the same. This is why I needed a rectangle. but the rectangle that they have has rounded edges. So 8.5 by 7 inches. I think I need to, because what's what? Look at me confusing myself. I think this is right. I think this is right. We're gonna find out. But let's get to cutting. I have quite a bit of cardstock. So this is the base. This is the side panel that will be on the side of the purse. And then this is for my zippers. And then this is for the base of the purse to hold everything. That doesn't seem right. Did I measure something wrong? I did. Why does it, you guys, it doesn't look right. Hold on, let me do some adjustment. No, it is right. Why does it look different than the other one? Because this is 8.5, that's why. Let's go ahead and bring that in to 8 inches. I don't know why stuff just changed on me. Did I add, oh, because I add extra for seam allowance. Let me just do that back again, 8.5 for everything. As long as everything is like the same width, I'll be fine. It's just when you have differences, that's when things will not align. So we have our 4 pieces. This is 7, 7, 3, because this is for the zipper flap, and then this is 4.5 by 8.5. And this is 8.5, 8.5, 8.5. Perfect. All right, so let's get ready to make. I do need to go size down my cardstock so that we can fit it into the Cricut machine. So let's go do that, and then let's put this into the machine, get to cutting. Okay, so what we have here is some cardstock that I just purchased from freaking Dollar Tree while I was out running errands earlier. So what we're going to do now is measure out. The Cricut mat is 12 inches. I don't believe I need a mat to cut this, but we could use one just to play it safe. So I'm gonna cut out 12 inches on this, and I believe on the Cricut app I have it set to the same amount. I will check it before I start cutting stuff just to ensure I don't make any mistakes. And honestly, this part doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be cut, because the Cricut's gonna make everything else perfect. All right, so we are cut. Let's get ready to rumble. No, that's not what we're talking about. All right, so let's turn this machine on and get ready to go. I have my piece of paper right here. I have pulled out my longer cut mat because previously I had my short one out. So I have my 24-inch long one out right there. And we have our Cricut connecting to my computer as we speak. And then we are about to get ready to go off to the races. Okay, ladies and gents, so I put the cardstock onto here. I sent the print instructions over to my Cricut. We're about to load her on up. This is long. Oh my God, this is actually like really long. I hope it comes out well. I hope like my math was mathing, because y'all know I can't always do math. Ooh, do I have enough room? Ooh, no I don't. Hold up. Close call, close call. I think I have enough now. Hopefully it don't throw me an error. Okay, let's go. Off to the races, y'all. Let's get this stuff cut out so we can look at it and see if it matches up correctly. Ooh, barely made it. barely made it. Oh my God. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my goodness. Like this last cut, like this cut right here was almost off this damn paper because someone, me, wasn't paying attention like that. So we are done. One thing I did do that I did not show you guys was I added another little rectangle for the D-rings that I plan to put on the purse. So I just did 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches so I could have a little piece of fabric to fold over itself and then sew it down on the parts of the purse that I would wish to add a attachment, like a purse D-ring, so that I could hook my straps on. So that's something else that we did. I did not cut those other straps that they have on that purse because I think for mine personally, I'm going to do like that fluffy little strap that I saw, unless I think that's like too much. But I do want to have some type of short handle. Now, if I come back later and I'm like, okay, I do want to add a fabric handle, we're going to use the Cricut to cut me out a perfect rectangle because why not? So let's get to removing all this stuff. Let me turn off my Cricut, get it packed up, get it put away, and then we'll be back to remove these from the actual cut mat and see what we did, see how we did. All right, let's remove this. Ooh, it's just so satisfying. And so much easier than doing it myself. Shout out to you, Cricut. This is where you would use your tools. I'm not about to. So this is piece 1. I need to go in and like name what the pieces are. I named them in Cricut, but I need to name them here. So we have all our pieces removed now. I am going to clean up a bit and then get back with you guys so that we can mark out seam allowances on the pieces themselves so that we don't mess up. Okay, ladies and gents, right now I'm just naming out what panel is what and then listing on there how much of each type of fabric I need to cut. So this is the side panel. I need 2 of the main fabric, 2 of the lining, and 2 interfacing pieces so that I can sandwich the interfacing between the 2 other layers of fabric that I have. So I'm still contemplating making matching bottoms for this. So I want to try and preserve as much as that cherry print fabric as I can. So I'm going to make this purse, look at how much fabric I have left. If it doesn't seem like enough fabric to make me a cute little bottom that's going to be comfortable enough for me to wear and not feel like, girl, whoa, you're doing too much, then I am going to make a bottom. But the way that these hips don't lie, I don't know if that's going to be possible to make all of that out of 2 yards of fabric, because the top took about, I want to say it took like about half a yard, but we will see. But I'm going to finish doing this really quickly and then be back with you guys to measure out the seam allowances on here. And I think that's where we can end this video. So this one will be a purely prep video. And by prep, I just mean making my fabric pattern, because I still need to order materials to make this. And like, it's a cool little way to show you all of the things that you can do with your Cricut. Like, you don't have to just use your Cricut to cut one type of material. I also learned that you can cut fabric with your Cricut. I don't have the blade for that. You need a rotary blade in order to do that. Will I be purchasing that rotary blade? Absolutely, because I would love to cut this fabric for this out with that so that everything is nice and seamless and it matches and it's straight, and I don't have to worry about like my eyes playing tricks on me when it comes to straightness. So they come out very professional, very clean, very beautiful. So I will return briefly after I complete marking out what these pieces are and how much of each fabric I need to cut to show you guys how I apply the seam allowances to this. Okay, we are back live and we have a visitor. My daughter isn't here with us, so if you hear her, apologies. But what we are going to do now is take our pattern pieces and mark out the seam allowances. So this is my zipper flap. It is the same width as the purse facing. So if you overlap them, they're the same length. It might be a little bit hard to tell because they're the same color, but it's the same length. And then this is the side panel of the purse, and you see it overlaps it a little bit. So the purse panel, the width of that, let me see, is 4.5. I made the zipper flap 3 inches to allow 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. So after I do that seam allowance, it's going to take off 1 inch, so it'll be 2 inches. So I'll have 2 inches on each side of this to accommodate for that. I may have to take it in a little bit more, seeing that I am going to add a zipper, but we could, you know, get there when we get there. Right now, we're going to mark out that 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let me get you guys set up in a position so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I have my pattern here. This ruler may be a bit hard to see. Let me put something behind it. This is my ruler, and you can see it better now. But I have my piece lined up here. I want to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each side. And as I was saying earlier, since this is the zipper flap and I'm attaching a zipper to it, on one side, I might end up ultimately making it 0.75 inch seam allowance just to accommodate for that overlap in the center where the zipper aligns. But for now, we're just going to do a 1/2 inch. So mark out a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here. And later on, we will connect that, but just not right at this moment. So let me do that on each side, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Now for the entire length, of this, it's 8.5 inches. And we want that finished product to be, let's see, 8.5, it'll be 7.5 inches. So that'll be the width of this purse. So if we do a 1/2 inch seam allowance here, 1/2 inch seam allowance there, flip it, do the same thing, line it up, 1/2 inch. Let me make sure it's all the way flat. And like the perk of cutting with this Cricut, I know that this line is straight so that when I line it up to my ruler, it's straight. So let me connect these now. I might have to move, y'all. I don't know. Let me line my ruler up though. And this is why I say get a clear ruler, because you can see where it's lining up with this fabric, with this piece of the pattern, so that it's like this is lining up with the edge of where my fabric is, or my paper is cut. We're just gonna do a straight line across. I'm gonna do this all the way around. Okay, so now that I have all of my seam allowances on there, I'm just gonna hash them out so that I know, like, hey, this isn't what I'm actually going to have as the finished product, but this will be my seam allowance. And I'll also include on the pattern itself, like I can write on there, like, hey, this is how much seam allowance you have. And then we could also measure out the size of this to see how big the finished product will be, so that we have a good idea of what it'll look like once we finish. And we're doing this to all the pieces, but I just wanted to show you in depth on this one. Purses are fairly easy because they're just, you're just doing some rectangles. So my 1/2 inch is a little off on this side. So I'm gonna just freehand it a little bit. We know, just like, that's where it'll be. It's the seam allowance. It may not even be straight when I get to sewing it. So honestly, it's fine. So the finished product, the inside of these two is 7.5. So this is 7.5 inches. And then on the sides, this is going to be 2 inches. If I overlap the lines perfectly, it'll be 2 inches. So this is 2 inches. So I'm going to go through, do this to all of my pattern pieces so that I can know exactly what I'll have to work with. And then we will be done. We will be done for this video because I still need to order stuff to actually complete this purse. Okay, so now we have finished cutting and putting our seam allowances on all of our pieces. I think we're good to go. The key things that I think I messed up on is on my side panel, I forgot to add an extra inch for seam allowance. So now the width of my purse, instead of being 4 inches, it's 3.5. I think that's fine because I'm not really trying to hold a whole lot of stuff in this purse. Like 3.5 is pretty solid to me. That's just me personally. I'm going to leave that as it is. I did start contemplating though, as I was doing this, if I wanted to do an outer pocket. I may end up doing an inner pocket. But I haven't completely settled on if I'm going to do that or not. And then another thing that I may have messed up on, now that we're seeing that this width of the purse is 3.5 inches and these are 2 inches. So I'm just going to need to increase the seam allowance on the sides that attach to the inside of the purse for the zipper flap. So when it opens out like this, the part that's like sewn to this big facing, the face of the purse, is going to be a little bit greater than I anticipated, but that's fine. It'll be perfectly fine because I believe the zippers that I have, they are 1 inch in width, unless I end up purchasing a different one, which may be the case because those zippers are black. I think we'll order a new one, but it'll still be probably 1 inch or 1/2 inch, so we'll be fine. So let's take a look at our pieces and all the seam allowances that we have. The key things is to make sure that all of your measurements are adding up. That way, when you put your purse together, everything will be the same size. And I'm looking at something now and it is the wrong size, but that just means I need to cut off 1/2 inch. Oh no, I just wrote wrong. It is correct. I just wrote the wrong thing down. Let me fix that. And then I can show y'all. But yeah, we're gonna start wrapping up this video. This was quick, easy, to the point, just showing you the full usage of your Cricut and the different things that you can do with it, because I got excited when I realized, or like remembered, I could do this, so I wanted to show you guys too. Okay, so here we have all of our pattern pieces. So this is for the purse bottom. We see that it has a width of 7.5 inches and a height of 3.5. I don't remember, y'all remember what width and height is for rectangles? I don't. And so this is the facing. So it just needs to be, since this is the purse bottom, these two need to be the same width. As in, this distance across needs to be the same, because essentially you would be doing it like this. The two pieces would be connected in this fashion. Let me show you from the side so you can see what I'm referring to. They would be connected like this. And you want to make sure they're the same length so that when you connect them, you don't have anything hanging off or anything short. The other one that is important is this side panel. So this is going to go on the side of the purse. So if you put it on this side like this, you can see it is the same width as the bottom panel. And then if you line it up to the facing of the purse, you see that these two are the same height. So essentially, if we make our little 3D rectangle, it's going to be like this. Everything is lining up, happy together, looks good. The one thing that we may have to make modifications to is the zipper flap, because the width of this zipper flap needs to add up to equal 3.5 inches. We're not exactly there yet, but that's an easy fix that we can get to later. And then also you want to make sure the zipper flap is the same length of your purse, like the purse facing. That's what I'm calling like the front large pieces. I'm not sure if that's correct, but you want to make sure these are the same length, or if anything a little bit shorter, because you know how sometimes in purses when you zip them up, let me get my purse 1 second. Oh man. This purse ain't even got no zipper for me to show you, but like, you know, sometimes when you put a purse and you like zip it up, there's a little gap in these corners right here. That is what I'm referring to when I say that you can have that zipper panel be slightly shorter than the facing of your purse. The last piece that we have is this little D-ring thing. So let me grab my purse again, because I didn't think about this. But do you see on the inside of this purse, there's this like little leather flap holding this D-ring onto the purse? That is what I'm referring to as my zipper flap. So you want to make sure that when you are fabricating the purse or putting the purse together, you have a D-ring. And I should have marked halfway on this too, because we're going to fold it in half. We could fold it in half now, but you'll fold it in half. And then that's where your D-ring will go through on your purse so that you can attach your straps to it. But yes, these are the pieces we have. A purse, oh my God, it is so easy to assemble. Like, I remember when I assembled my first one, if you're just making a tote, They're very easy to assemble. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. There are still some accessories that I need to purchase, but for the most part, purses are fairly simple to cut out. The only thing is that you have to remember when you make your purse, you're going to sew your purse inside out and then flip it. And you also need to keep into account how many pieces of fabric you need, how many attachments you need, because for this purse, I do plan to put purse feet on it. So I have my handy dandy purse attachments. If you can see them, it's a little bit of a glare. But in here, I have several different types of attachments for purse feet and like for putting the straps on purses. I did not want to use these. I prefer to use fabric ones for this instance. But for the purse feet, I will be using these little tapered circular purse feet to put on here because I like my purse to have a little bit of stability, right? So that's what I'll be using for that. But thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial I gave you guys on a Cricut and using it to start fabricating pattern pieces. We will get to clothes one day. I'm not exactly sure how to import the sewing patterns for clothing into Cricut and have Cricut cut them out for me, because listen, the day that we can do that, it's a wrap. Sewing projects are going to be so fast, so quick, so easy. And I've seen somebody do it on YouTube, so I will be going back to YouTube University to learn how to do that. But in the meantime, between time, we will keep it to easy rectangular shapes to sew out of fabric and just do what we can there and just keep hoping for the best when it gets to fabrication. So as always, thank you. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, because we said we're growing this channel and we're doing exactly that. So I need y'all to stick with me, keep it popping. And thank you for all the kind comments I've been receiving, because I really appreciate them. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.